I was waiting for the bus when I started talking to him. That was my first mistake. It was a cold Tuesday morning, the kind where the air bites at your cheeks and you just want to be anywhere else. The bus was late, of course. He was standing a few feet away, bundled up in a dark coat, and he just turned to me and said something about the delay. You know, the usual small talk. The weather, the city, how buses are never on time when you really need them to be. He seemed perfectly normal, friendly even. He had this easy smile and a way of talking that made you feel comfortable. I found myself opening up more than I usually would with a stranger. We chatted for a few minutes, just passing the time. I mentioned that I was running late for a meeting downtown and how frustrating it was. I started to say I just hate being late, it makes me feel so. And before I could finish, he cut in smoothly. Unprofessional and flustered. He said it with a nod, as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. I laughed it off, a lucky guess, right? Lots of people hate being late. It didn't feel weird, not yet anyway. It was just a moment of connection with a stranger. We kept talking, and the conversation drifted to my job. I vented a little, saying I was thinking about quitting, that the daily grind was getting to me. I'm just so tired of it all. I sighed. I've been thinking about leaving for a while now. Because it's draining and you feel completely stuck, he said. This time he wasn't smiling. He just looked at me, his eyes steady. The words hung in the air between us. That's when the laughter died in my throat. It wasn't a guess anymore. That was the exact phrase, the exact feeling that had been churning in my mind for months, a secret I'd barely admitted to myself. The friendly atmosphere suddenly evaporated, replaced by a cold, prickling sensation on the back of my neck. My heart started beating a little faster. How could he know that? How could he know the specific word? Stuck? I took a small step back, trying to appear casual, but my mind was racing. Have we met before? I asked, my voice a little shaky. You seem really familiar. I was searching my memory, trying to place his face, a client. Someone from college? Nothing. He just shook his head slowly, his expression unreadable. No, he said, his voice calm, almost gentle. We've never met. But you think the same things every morning at this bus stop. He said it so matter-of-factly, like he was commenting on the color of the sky. The same things. Every morning. The sheer impossibility of it made me feel dizzy. It was like he had peeled back a layer of my skull and was just reading the thoughts as they formed. From that moment on, the world tilted on its axis. Every sentence I started, he finished. It was a horrifying, surreal duet. I'd start to complain about my landlord. I swear, if he doesn't fix that leak soon. And he'd finish. You're going to report him to the housing authority, even though you know it's a hassle. I tried to throw him off. I thought of something random, something deep from my past. I began, when I was a kid, I had this recurring dream about he looked at me, a flicker of something like pity in his eyes, and said, a forest where all the trees had faces and you could never find your way out. My blood ran cold. I had never told a single soul about that dream. Not my parents, not my best friend, not my therapist. It was my own private childhood nightmare, and this stranger, this man in a dark coat at a bus stop, knew it. I stopped talking. I couldn't speak. What was there to say? He already knew. My mind was a chaotic storm of fear and confusion. Who was he? What did he want? Was I going crazy? I felt transparent, violated. He just stood there, waiting as if this was a normal conversation. The roar of an engine broke the silence. The bus was finally arriving, its brakes hissing as it pulled up to the curb. The doors swung open. People started shuffling forward, eager to get out of the cold. I should have been relieved, but all I felt was a rising panic. I couldn't get on that bus. I couldn't be trapped in a metal box with him. He moved toward the door, then turned back to look at me one last time. His expression was blank, but his eyes were locked on mine. As the doors began to close, sealing him inside, he spoke. He said the exact thought that was screaming in my head at that very second, word for word. If I get on that bus with him, I will never get off. And then he was gone. The bus pulled away from the curb, leaving me standing alone on the sidewalk, trembling. I watched it disappear down the street, my own reflection staring back at me from the dark glass of the bus shelter. I never went back to that bus stop. I changed my entire routine. I started taking a different route, leaving at a different time, even walking an extra 20 minutes to a subway station just to avoid that corner. I quit my job a week later, the one he knew I felt stuck in. I moved to a different neighborhood. I tried to erase the encounter, to convince myself it was a hallucination, a stress-induced psychotic break. But I know it wasn't, because sometimes, even now, when I'm in a conversation and I pause, hesitating before I speak, I get this chilling feeling. It's a strange internal echo. It feels like someone, somewhere, already knows exactly what I'm about to say. It feels like he's still listening. Thanks for watching. If you have a story that defies explanation, share it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange and unsettling tales. Stay safe out there.